On BLITZ, we have state championship head coach Adcock. Thank you so much for being on BLITZ. Really appreciate it. Congratulations on your state championship. In general, what does it feel like to make your goal a reality after all these?
It's amazing. It's one of those things that we work for. It's one of the things I've worked for. Ever since I've started being a part of basketball, my dad coached here back in '98 to 2002, and I've just been a gym rat my entire life. But he won a state title at Glenwood back in the early '80s, and it was one of those things that I always wanted to follow in his footsteps and do the same thing. But with that being said, it was also amazing to do it in Rabun County and bring the first basketball state championship, second team sports state championship, including golf in 1991. But it was an amazing feeling. And it's one of those things that, we're still celebrating right now. We got like 4 or 5 different events we've done this week, but it's just one of those things that I don't know if it'll ever set in. I'll wake up some days and I'm like, do we really win a state title? And we did. So it's kind of a cool feeling.
Yeah, and you had this circled for a long time. I know you and I have talked, it seemed like every year, and I think it was even 3 or 4 years ago, you were pointing to this exact year, and you said that was going to be when everything lined up, that gave you your best shot to win a state title. And so I know confidence has always been there. You've never doubted it, but was there a moment that you can think of where you knew for sure, like, this team really can make that happen?
People thought I was crazy when I was saying that, because like you said, it's one of those things that I felt like everything, we've had the ability last year. We've also had the chance a couple years prior, but having the private schools in our classification kind of made it more difficult. And then last year with best, I honestly felt like if we had got past best, we had a really good shot to win the state title. But we just weren't able to pull it off. But moving into this year, it was one of those things where once I saw what we did against Gainesville, I really felt like we had a very good shot in the season. But prior to that, we just did a very good. We just made sure we played the teams that we needed to play over fall league and over our summer break, and that we just needed to play to make sure that we had seen the teams that we needed to see, so that when we got to the state tournament, nobody we played in the state tournament was as good as the Butlers, the Alexanders, the Gainesvilles of the world that we had already played, and the Walker School that we had already played and kind of seen and competed against and beat half of them. So it's just one of those things where I knew we had a really good shot. So I just want to make sure that as a coaching staff, we did everything that we needed to do to just get them prepared for the game and the teams that they would see.
Yeah, that's a great point. Now, watching, being able to be at the game was pretty special, and then to every now and then peek over and see how you were handling the highs and lows that come with the game itself. But what were your nerves like throughout the game?
Honestly, once we got in the game, it wasn't that big of a deal. It was just like any other game. A lot more fans than we're used to playing in front of. But leading up to it, a lot of nerves. But I always have nerves before a game. It's been a lot more this year. I don't know if it's the fact of the expectations or just the fact that my son's sitting on the bench with me that it makes me that much nervous or whatever it is leading into it. But once the ball went up, it was just like any other game. But there's just always highs and lows, and I'm a very emotional coach. It's one of those things that I just love. I love coaching, and the emotions are a part of it. So I just enjoy doing it.
How important was that opening run in that game?
I told the boys coming into the game that with playing in front of 9,500 people, and we showed out. We had a bunch of Rabun County fans show up. I couldn't thank our Rabun County supporters enough, but I want to say it was probably 1,500 fans from Rabun and 8,000 people from Southwest. So it was a de facto road game, and I told the boys coming into it, if we could hit them early and get on them early, that we could take the fans out of the game and can kind of take control of the gym, and that's what we did. That 17-5 run in the first quarter was one of the most important things that we could have done. And I'm just glad we hit early because, like I said, as they made their runs in the third quarter, you heard how that gym got. If that would have happened from the get-go, we could have been in a rough place. But we came out early and took the fans out and then just continued to do what we needed to do. And then Southwest made some runs, and then we ultimately shut them down at the end. And defense is what won us that game anyway. So we just did a very good job defensively.
Yeah, and having some guys step up that normally don't get called on very much, especially to ice the game at the end.
Yeah, Colton Crane coming in at the end and making 2 clutch free throws, Landon getting that clutch rebound in the third quarter off of Hayes' missed layup, and then just getting the stops we needed down the stretch. I was just really proud of them and the way they came in, especially Colton coming in after not playing the entire game. I think he hit the court with like a minute and 15 seconds to go, gets a rebound, goes to the free throw line, and hits 2 free throws that iced the game. So I was just really proud of the way he stepped up and was clutch in that moment.
Now, I know you say it was like any other game, but you are an emotional coach. And so in those final moments, the final minute, what was that?
Yeah, there was a lot of emotions coming out. Especially like when Hayes fouled out and Reed fouled out. It was one of those things where, you have a lot of faith and confidence in Landon and Colton, but it's also a big moment. But like I said, they did a very good job of coming in and stepping up and making the plays they needed to at the end. But then when the final horn sounded, I mean, it was jubilation. I mean, we were just ecstatic that we finally pulled it off, and just kind of amazed that we did it. I mean, like you said, like Reed said it earlier, it was very surreal, one of those surreal moments that we actually accomplished the goal that we had set out to accomplish.
Yeah, now you have the honor and privilege of having all the celebrations that come afterwards, and I know that's been exhausting to some extent, but still exciting. But talk about that return journey home. What was that like for you guys riding together?
The community of Rabun County is amazing, and it's one of those things where I just enjoying it with the boys. Me and Trace were actually supposed to leave and go to Hoover because his brother was playing in Hoover that weekend. But I didn't want him to miss out on that, and I didn't want to miss out on the trip back. So we decided to come all the way back on the bus, and then once we got back, we drove to Hoover and got to Hoover at like 4 o'clock in the morning for an AAU tournament. But just the way back, we had GSP. They gave us a chaperone back from Baldwin back, and then once we got back, we hit the bridge and fireworks were going off, and then got back, and the fire department was up there with fire trucks and flags and stuff like that, and the community was there to meet us. I mean, it was just an amazing feeling, just knowing that you live in a community that supports the kids, loves the kids, puts the kids first, and just wants them to see success and then experiences the success with them. And I'm just proud of this group and everything they were able to accomplish.
All right, last question for you, Coach, and it's really just one name, Huey Blaylock. What is that? I mean, there's so much that comes with that, but you guys have been tied together to what you've been able to do. But what does he mean to you in this program?
I mean, he was one of my kids. I mean, he's like my son. He's one of those things I've taught him since he was in pre-K. We've been together since he was 4 years old. And it's just one of those things where, I mean, just what he's brought to the program, the amount of energy he plays with, what he means. I just love him. I mean, that's the most important thing I can say is, I mean, and what he's done for this program and what he's going to continue to do outside of this community. And once he goes to Navy and moving on to that, he's just, I can't thank him enough for everything he's done. I mean, he's an amazing kid to me. He's the best player that's ever played at Rabun County. I mean, I think he's the best player to play in Northeast Georgia, just to be honest with you. Just with his accolades and what he's been able to do. I mean, 2-time Region Player of the Year, 2 times First Team All-State. I mean, State Player of the Year, Finals MVP. Then this year he ended up averaging 19 points, 10 rebounds, scored almost 2,000 career points, finished with 1,964. And then it's the school leader in assists with 953. So, I mean, the accolades continue to go. But the main thing with him is not only about that, it's just about the type of kid he is. I mean, a lot of people don't know he's upper 5%. He's 6th in his class, GPA-wise. He puts in the work in the classroom as well as on the court. And, I mean, he's just the type of kid that you want to have around, that you want to have leading your program, because as long as he's leading your program, everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Well, congratulations, Coach, on your well-earned state championship.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having us.
Storyblocks